The man who was on the FBI's most wanted list in the immediate after the victim of defamation. And mother effer, all discover in Discovery, and you might not be too happy. The cover-up. When Barnes and I were talking about P. Diddy and about Eric Adams, and I forget which one it was the case, but Barnes said, it's not the first time it's come up either, but the prosecution is the cover-up. With P. Diddy, with Epstein, when the FBI goes in there and seizes the videos, and they never see the light of day again. When they go in there and they seize the black book of clients of a sex trafficking ring for which there was a conviction for sex trafficking, but no conviction of clients, you realize that the investigation, the charges are the cover-up. Eric Adams getting slapped with like bogus campaign finance violations. I mean, those charges are so weak, I question whether or not that's not part of the cover-up. With P. Diddy, same thing as Epstein. Go in there, raid, get your blackmail material, and charge P. Diddy, but not with the child stuff, although that might be coming, because that's part of the cover-up in terms of seizing the confidential blackmail extortion material that might make a whole slew of other people beyond some hip-hop stars look very, very bad. So Ray Epps, you all know him. He's the totally not fed agent. And I use the word very loosely here, agent, anyone affiliated with. He could be a confidential human source. He could be an asset. He could be an agent insofar as he answers to the FBI. Ray Epps, the man who said we need to go into the Capitol on January 5th, the man who went into the Capitol on January 6th, who directed people into the Capitol on January 6th, who orchestrated the breaching of the barricades on January 6th, who took credit for orchestrating the breach of the barricades by texting his son or his nephew, I forget which, on January 6th. The man who was on the FBI's most wanted list in the immediate aftermath and then miraculously, magically plucked from that list. The man who was not charged for a damn thing for damn near 3 years. The man who became the hero of that unlawfully formed January 6th committee. The man who became the hero of the traitorous rhinos on the right and the traitor liberals on the left. The Jamie Ratskin calling him the poor schmuck who was turned into a scapegoat for the right. The man who was lionized and turned into the victim, not charged until 2 or 3 years later, and then when charged only with one lowly misdemeanor, to which he pleaded and got probation, no jail time. The totally not a Fed asset then sued Fox News for defamation. Fox News and some commentators for defamation. Okay, we covered it at length, and that's as thorough as an introduction as you need. The lawsuit, in my view, was always doomed to fail. The problem is this, and you have to check your own biases and your own confirmation bias and your own preconceived notions. I start off with the bias that Fox News, ever since their Dominion settlement, which was inexplicable, are players in the conspiracy. So I appreciate that's a bias. And so whatever Fox News is going to do, I'm going to say, oh, how do I interpret that into my foregone conclusion that Fox News is part of the conspiracy? I appreciate it. I can appreciate that that's a source of attack, and it might be even a source of undermining my thought process in this. I think Fox News is a player in money laundering in that ridiculous $787 million settlement with Dominion. And I think they are playing something with Ray Epps. The question is what? Ray Epps sues them for defamation. Remember, they settled with Dominion for nearly $1 billion, for $750 million, when Dominion was only suing for $1.2 billion. Again, I appreciate politics has changed, circumstances have changed, but when you settle, typically, you don't settle so early on for virtually the entire amount claimed. So that is, to me, definitive evidence that Fox News is up to something that doesn't make sense, except it has to make sense, and I don't have the details. Okay, with that said, they settle with Dominion, but then make a motion to dismiss against Ray Epps. Why wouldn't they settle with Ray Epps? Okay, interesting. For $787 million, they could have gotten off free with Ray Epps. Pay him $1 million, get the hell out, go back to your trailer home and live your life with your Fed agent, what's it called? Pension. So they make a motion to dismiss and they succeed on the motion to dismiss. And then, my immediate reaction is to say, finally, a W, Ray Epps, that scumbag extraordinaire, who I firmly, genuinely, and sincerely believe is an FBI asset, a confidential human source. He's part of the insurrection, the Fedsurrection. He orchestrated it by his own words. So I said, the initial reaction is, oh, good, he finally got what he deserved. And then, take a step back and say, he sued for defamation. He looks like the victim after having gotten probation for one misdemeanor charge to which he pleaded. Let's take a brief pause from this video to thank our sponsor, and it is the holiday season, and what I love doing during the holiday season is eating quality steaks with friends and family. The holidays are here, ladies and gentlemen, and there is no better way to celebrate them with a feast from the Chicago Steak Company. Right now, Chicago Steak Company is spreading the holiday cheer with an unbeatable offer exclusively for my viewers at www.mychicagosteak.com/Viva. Go there and receive 4 free bourbon sirloin steaks, a bottle of their signature steak seasoning, and free shipping for any order over $199. Imagine getting your loved ones around a holiday table filled with tender, juicy steaks, deliciously seasoned with the best flavors of the season. Chicago Steak Company's premium cuts, from their beautiful marbled ribeyes to perfectly aged New York strips, are exactly what your holiday spread needs to impress every guest. All you need to do is head over to chicagosteakcompany.com/Viva. Place your first order of $199 to unlock this festive offer. You'll receive 4 free bourbon sirloin steaks, a signature steak seasoning, and free shipping right to your door, just in time to bring the magic of steakhouse quality to your holiday table. mychicagosteak.com/Viva for this wonderful offer. Enjoy it, enjoy the holidays, and now back to the vlog. So he still gets to claim to be the victim of defamation, and now he gets to claim to be the victim of never having gotten his day in court. Because you'll recall, Sandman's case, Nicholas Sandman sued CNN for defamation, initially was tossed by the judge. The judge reviewed it and brought back, on his own accord, by the way, it was very interesting. This is how Nate Brody and I met. The judge reviewed his own dismissal and brought back the claim for a certain portion of it. And Sandman settled, and we don't know what he settled for. Some people think a lot, and others, like myself, think not a lot. But even Sandman was allowed to pursue his claim for defamation. They're notoriously difficult to pursue, and I'm always shocked as to how many do get dismissed. Trump's claims for defamation got dismissed, although E. Jean Carroll's didn't. So where was I going with that? Yes, they're notoriously difficult to bring and succeed on. He brought one, and I think it's an idiotic claim in the first place, because calling him an agent or a federal agent or a conspirator is clearly a matter of speculation or opinion. It's not like anybody's calling him a rapist. We're going to get to that outright act of per se defamation in a second as relates to Pete Hegseth. So I thought the claim was stupid, but these claims, nonetheless, they're difficult to succeed upon, but they still go forward in some cases. Fox, I'm operating on the basis that everything they're doing is scoundrelous. They bring a motion to dismiss, and it gets dismissed. How does that become a conspiracy theory? The judge, by the way, I was thinking about this. I'm in the park. I'm going for a jog today. I was like, oh, who was the judge that dismissed the case? It was Delaware. Delaware, if I'm not mistaken, Delaware Court, Elon Musk. It's a politicized court. Yeah, it's Delaware judge rejects Musk's bid. So the Delaware courts, because you will recall, that's the Delaware jurisdiction is where Elon Musk's bonus was basically denied by a judge. And then Elon Musk says, get the hell out of Delaware. So I believe my bias is that Delaware is a politicized, weaponized judicial system. So I'm thinking about the judge now who, let me see, my computer's freezing here. The judge dismisses the case, and I want to see who the judge is. Okay, and who's the judge? Let me see that we can see the same thing. Appointed by Joe Biden in January 2024. A young judge. I couldn't find much by way of meaningful court rulings or even decisions or court filings in which she's heavily involved. But she's a Biden judge. Dismisses the case. Okay, it's out. Failure to state a claim. You didn't allege or prove actual malice, but we're on a motion to dismiss here, a Rule 12B, failure to state a claim. Dismissed. Oh, poor baby, Ray Epps, denied his day in court. He still gets to say, I sued Fox News for defamation, but I never got to have my day in court. And then I'm thinking, what would have happened if this proceeded? One of the theories as to, one of the steelman arguments for why Fox settled in Dominion was because they proceeded to discovery and they got compromising information out of discovery, they being Dominion. And that's what some people allege, that what they got in discovery would have been so compromising, so prejudicial to Fox News that they had to settle. No judge, they would have gotten their asses handed to them in front of a judge. Okay. Because you discover things in discovery. That's why it's called discovery. Depositions, examinations, depending on your jurisdiction. What might they have found if this proceeded to discovery with Ray Epps petitioning the court? This is like one of those cases where, who was it that, it happens often when say, I'm going to sue you for defamation. Do it, mother effer. I'll discover in discovery, and you might not be too happy with what is revealed in discovery. It might be that discovery shows the allegations were true, and truth is the ultimate defense to defamation. My operating theory now, maybe seeing conspiracies where they don't exist, is that the judge, in dismissing the case, is participating in the cover-up, because had this proceeded to discovery, we would have gotten to know where the hell Ray Epps gets his money from, where the hell Ray Epps has been talking in the last 4 years, how the hell Ray Epps fell off the FBI's most wanted list, what has been his level of cooperation with the FBI. Because he might have been, hypothetically, a legitimate, true believer on January 5, and then the feds come in and say, we're going to lock you up for good, unless you help us. I don't know what help Ray Epps could have offered the FBI. I mean, it's a very weak theory that he was a true believer to begin with and just doing what he thought was appropriate, and then got flipped because they were threatening him with jail, because he doesn't have much to offer after January 6th in terms of like revealing what other wrongdoing people are doing. No, he was there to stir shit up. He was there as an agent provocateur, in my humble belief. Sue me, Ray Epps. He was there as an agent provocateur with ties to intelligence, with ties to the FBI, and he was there to do exactly what he did in fact do, and exactly what he did in fact take credit for. And that probably would have come out on any meaningful discovery that an active player would have wanted to conduct. You know, for Fox News, for settling for $787 million, why not carry on this case and depose Ray Epps, and then decide whether or not you want to make a motion to dismiss after discovery? So I think that judge, a Joe Biden-appointed Delaware judge, is participating in the cover-up by dismissing this lawsuit so that Ray Epps is never subjected to discovery. Because recall, he was never subjected to any meaningful... He was never cross-examined during the January 6th committee. He was praised as a hero. He's never been subject to discovery in any meaningful way. And I firmly, sincerely, truly believe, I believe all evidence as plain for the eye to see, that he is a federal agent, in that he's affiliated in some capacity with the FBI, is an asset, is a confidential human source, was there to do exactly what he did, exactly what he took credit for, and they weaponized it and they made political gold out of that Fedsurrection. And then he gets slapped on the wrist with probation. He gets to file a lawsuit which goes nowhere, and now he gets to scuttle off to the mountains off whatever pension he's getting and claim to be the victim not once but twice, because he got defamed and then he got denied his day in court. See, justice is blind. Even Ray Epps, the Fed, didn't get his day in court. And that's what I think.